Hello and welcome back to the Film Club, the club where we talk about films that we're recently watching, viewing and enjoying. Let me know what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you've seen what I'm about to talk about, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I wasn't overly excited for Transformers 1. I was excited in a sense for, seeing this part of Transformers that we've not seen on the big screen, I think ever. Maybe there was a few old Transformers films that touched on the subject of, the old world, but I don't know. At least not that I've watched. I'm not the biggest, I will put my hands up, I'm not the biggest Transformers fan. I didn't grow up watching the animated show. I got into it through the Michael Bay films and I love them, but I'm not I don't want to come across and as I know everything. I absolutely don't. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. But yeah, I wasn't overly excited for this film. I think it looked a bit over kidified from the trailers. From the animation style in a sense, and I was pleasantly surprised. This was a good story. It had its faults, don't get me wrong, but the overall film was actually a incredibly solid Transformers film and a brilliant new direction for the franchise, which I think it kind of needed. This was really good. Seeing the birth of Optimus Prime and Megatron is fantastic. I loved it. There was the scene where Optimus, who wasn't called Optimus at the time, but falls into the hole and gets given the powers of the Prime. I had goosebumps. That was incredible. I loved it. I loved the sort of the evolution of both the characters from the beginning. I think the comedy was fantastic and landed really well. I think the voice actors, I wasn't sure about it at first, I'll be entirely honest, because all I hear is Thor. Don't get me wrong, I know Chris Hemsworth has done a lot of other stuff, but to me that's Thor's voice, and I could just hear that coming through the whole time. And obviously, also, you're never gonna beat the original Optimus Prime voice, you're just not, and I think that I loved that final scene where he turned into a Prime and he's running at the end and he's giving the speech as Optimus. And I don't know, did they merge Chris Hemsworth's voice with the original? I don't know, but it was, I kind of hoped that, or if they go on to another film, I kind of hope that if they bring Chris Hemsworth back for it, that he does his own take on it and doesn't try to just mimic what's happened before. Don't get me wrong, it was brilliant at the end, but it was just a sort of copy of what we've had in the past. I think the animation could have been a little bit more interesting. I thought when they find the old Prime, who's the last one left, and his mouth moves with a piece of machinery, whereas everyone else just has the cartoony. And I would have loved to have everyone have it as a more of a mechanic movement rather than just a fluid mouth. I think that's the sort of the main thing that made it a little bit kiddie. I think they could have just gone a little bit more artsy with it. I don't know. I feel like they went hard marketing this and trying to create a kids Transformers film, but the storyline is so perfect for an older audience as well. Look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film that came out, Mutant Mayhem. I think it was last year. It might have been this year, actually. I can't remember. But that was an incredible way of blending both a kids and an adult film into one. The Wild Robot, just stuff like that where it appeals to both audiences, and I feel like they tried to do it with a few jokes, but the majority of this was very much kidified, and I think it would have just massively benefited from just trying to push the mark a little bit more and trying to appeal to a broader audience. I know there's probably people out there going, but it's a kids film, it's Transformers, but there is people like me who still love Transformers and still want to watch it, and so appeal to that audience, because we're the ones with money. We're going to spend it on the merch and stuff. So yeah, but I've said a lot of complaining. I did actually really like this film. I thought the story, like I said, was brilliant. I loved it just felt like a classic Transformers film. I think the battles towards the end were really cool. I think there was a lot of interesting character moments. The music, I know I said I love this film, and I don't know why I'm complaining a lot, but the music, I think, could have been a little bit more interesting. Like, I think this could have been a bit more like you could have got like a Trent Reznor sort of cyberpunk style. Like, you've got Transformers, like robot machines in this essentially planet of a robot, and you're just gonna have like standard music. Like, go push the boat, be creative with it. I think that's what this film lacks, a little bit of creativity, because I think the story was good, the characters were good, but I think the animation and the creativity of how they went about it was just very kidified, and I think they could have got creative with it and it would have been a 10 out of 10. I really do think it could, like, it had the potential, but I don't think it quite reached what it could have. But anyway, let me know, what did you think of Transformers 1 if you have seen it, and I will see you next time on The Film Club.